Hello and welcome to Weather or Not. I'm your host, Stuart Dougherty, joined by forecaster Brian Michigan. Now, Brian, besides Wednesday, it has been a beautiful week in central Pennsylvania. The Nittany Lions will be playing their home opener on Saturday against Ball State. Does your forecast favor good weather for those who want to safely participate?
It sure does, Stuart. I'll cover all the details in a little bit in the forecast, but it looks to be a great weekend for football.
That is great to hear. Besides the forecast, what catches do you have in your Nature in the News segment?
For this week, I'll be sharing stories about wild cockatoos that make their very own tools, as well as a story about how oil spills in the Gulf of Mexico are causing more water pollution in the wake of Hurricane Ida. What about you, Stuart?
I will be informing people on why certain parts of the cities are hotter. I will also be talking about how renewable energy farms are moving to a new place in the United States.
Chimpanzees, monkeys, and dolphins are just a few species with great intelligence amongst us humans. I'm sure if you heard that cockatoos were on that list, you would be quite surprised, but that actually seems to be the case. Scientists have observed these birds crafting their own tools which are similar to crowbars, ice picks, and even spoons for consuming their favorite fruits. The work supports the idea that parrots have a general type of intelligence that allows them to innovate creative solutions to the problems they run into in the wild, says Alex Taylor, a biologist at the University of Auckland. The cockatoos have been known to be great learners, especially when put into groups. These birds have been able to solve difficult box puzzles as well as make the tools that give them an advantage in the wild. This discovery was found when behavioral ecologist Mark O'Hara was studying the birds. He stated, "I just turned away, and when I looked back, one of the birds was making and using tools. I couldn't believe my eyes."
Many urban areas have shown to have higher temperatures compared to other areas, especially during the dog days of summer. This phenomenon has been called the urban heat island effect. Buildings, paved roads, and parking lots absorb radiation from the sun and will emit the radiation as heat. For developed cities and neighborhoods, temperatures may be 10 to 20 degrees Fahrenheit higher than rural areas. The heat strains power grids and increases electric bills as people will turn on their air conditioners to cool down. Climate Central produced an index to measure the intensity of the urban heat island effect in 159 cities. Their scores ranged from 0 being the lowest to 10 being the highest. The index took into account albedo, the percentage of greenery, population density, building height, and the average width of streets and the irregularity of the city. Erie placed 17th out of 159 with a rounded score of 6.97, below Detroit, Michigan, and Cleveland, Ohio. Being on an impermeable surface played the critical role in the score.
Hurricane Ida was an absolutely monstrous storm that slammed into the coast of Louisiana, but even after the storm, the effects still linger. The Category 4 storm made landfall in Port Fourchon, Louisiana, which conveniently happens to be one of the major facilities for managing the deep water oil industry in the Gulf of Mexico. The storm caused more leaks of oil to occur, and as a result, the Coast Guard has received over 2,000 reports of pollution and contamination in the waters. Environmental officials from the state of Louisiana have found many bird species that have been covered in oil near one of the flooded facilities. Unfortunately, officials say that the birds are not likely to survive. After a Coast Guard flight observed the area for oil, they found that the oil has spread around 11 miles but looks to be dissipating. That is very good news for cleanup efforts down in Louisiana, as well as for wildlife in the area, as the region recovers from Ida's destruction.
Renewable energy farms are moving to a new location in the United States. Wind turbines have been located on the seas and oceans throughout Europe, Africa, and Asia. The Special Initiative on Offshore Wind, a project based at the University of Delaware, wants to deploy wind farms deep into America's oceans. Being far out from land decreases the friction that occurs, allowing wind speeds to increase, and with that increase in speeds allows the turbine to generate more energy. Being far out on the water also means less casualties for flying birds. abcbirds.org estimates that approximately 538,000 birds die from collisions with turbine blades every year. Turbines will be built onto 3 different structures. The most popular that is used is the spar buoy. It is required to be in water that is more than 100 meters or 109 yards deep. Mooring lines will act as a shock absorber when waves crash. Tension legs uses taut mooring lines to connect to anchors. However, if a mooring line is severed, the platform will tip over. Many more mooring lines will prevent tipping. The last, the semi-submersible, uses a much larger area on the water to build stability. It's easier to transport, but will take up more area than the other 2. The structures will not only benefit the East Coast, but areas in the Gulf of Maine, Hawaii, and the West Coast because these areas get deeper sooner compared to the Atlantic Ocean. California is looking to lease 2 Pacific Ocean sites for wind farms. Scientists and engineers are hoping to learn more about the floating wind turbines when the farms are deployed.
Hello everyone, my name is Brian Michigan here for your Central Pennsylvania forecast. We're going to be breaking down this beautiful weekend ahead for the home opener of the Penn State football game against Ball State. We're going to kick things off with Friday, this low pressure system moving its way off the coast, leaving some showers off to our northeast. Very spotty showers, not a whole lot in terms of rainfall accumulations it looks like with this system. High pressure off to our west, leaving sunny skies and beautiful conditions for much of Pennsylvania and surrounding areas. Looks to be a beautiful start to the weekend on Friday as we move things forward towards Saturday. Sunny skies throughout the region. That high pressure slides further to our east and is just dominating the region. More information on the football game coming up shortly, but it looks to be some beautiful weather for the Penn State football game. Weather gets a little bit dicey here on Sunday with this cold front moving in from Canada. We have some showers off to our north. Looks to be, again, spottier showers. Nothing really worth to cancel plans over, especially in the northern portions of Pennsylvania. We still have the high pressure off to our south, which means lots of sunshine, lots of beautiful conditions here for surrounding areas on Sunday. As we take a look for our kickoff time at 3:30 for the Penn State versus Ball State football game, conditions look to be absolutely perfect for football with that high temperature of 75 degrees. So if you're going out to tailgate or going to the game with your friends, it looks to be an absolutely perfect day for the home opener. For this weekend, Friday, 71 degrees as our high with sunny skies. Looks to be a beautiful day on Friday, so definitely take advantage of it. Friday night, mostly clear skies, low temperature of 49. Saturday for the football game, 77 degrees is the high with abundant sunshine. Looks to be a perfect day for the Penn State football game. Saturday night, 56 degrees with those mostly clear skies returning to the area. And on Sunday, looks to be the best day of the weekend here in Center County, Pennsylvania, with 81 degrees as our high and sunshine. Coming up next, we have a feature on Derechos by MJ. Don't go away.
When it comes to notable weather in the month of September, hurricanes often take the center stage, but there's a weather phenomenon that is not as well known, derechos. While many people have probably heard of its effects, few know how they occur, how to deal with their dangers, and why they are notoriously unpredictable. Derechos are simply defined as widespread, long-lived windstorms. This phenomenon is often the result of lines of thunderstorms which move quickly across the land. The downdrafts of air that come from these thunderstorms are pushed ahead forcefully, resulting in wind speeds as fast as 130 miles per hour. While the winds of a derecho are comparable with that of a tornado, however, derechos differ in that its winds blow in a straight line. In order to better understand this topic, I consulted Bill Surratt, a professor of meteorology at Penn State. Bill is someone who's quite knowledgeable in observing and discussing various types of severe weather, and he's had a few experiences with it as well.
As you well know, we like to joke that State College doesn't have very exciting weather most of the time anyway. But I have seen, well, at least 3 instances where the winds have topped 70 miles an hour in parts of State College. And 2 of them were derecho-like, but they were a smaller scale. They were what were known as downbursts, where an individual strong thunderstorm creates localized damaging wind gusts.
Dealing with the types of conditions that Bill mentioned, the type that derechos produce that is, can be crucial. The most important action to take if a derecho comes your way is to head indoors, ideally in a basement or area away from windows. If you are caught outside during a derecho, keeping away from trees and low to the ground can help avoid debris and lightning strikes. While derechos are such a powerful and dangerous phenomenon, they aren't as well known as other types, such as tornadoes and hurricanes. Bill had a comment about this as well.
They are a bit more rare. You get somewhere on the order of 1,000 tornadoes during the course of the year across the country. But derechos, there might be one, in a big year, you might have 3 to 5. So they're more rare. And I think the term derecho is, it's fairly new. It's come into popular use in the past several years, let's say. I mean, before that, we just called them squall lines.
And to Bill's credit, one of the greatest challenges in addressing derechos is finding a definition for them. Derechos vary heavily in both their initial conditions as well as their appearance, so the main criteria is usually based on minimum wind speeds and the distance in which wind damage occurs from the storm. Perhaps an even trickier task than defining derechos is predicting them. Derechos in the U.S. occur 1 to 2 times per year on average, but there's no guarantee as to when they'll occur. This is due to the fact that conditions can vary in what the moisture, temperature, and winds are when a derecho form, making it hard to pinpoint the exact recipe needed. Even if there are the proper initial conditions for a derecho to form, the catalyst event that sets the storm in motion isn't always there. This means that derechos can hit without warning, making it near possible for forecasters to alert people, and for those people to prepare. So when it comes to derechos, there's plenty that both researchers and the general public have yet to understand about these powerful forces of nature, but Bill gave a reminder about one piece of info for all of us to keep in mind.
Most parts of the country, especially from the Rocky Mountains eastward, are subject to them. Especially areas in the country that aren't prone to hurricanes. This is their form of hurricane. Iowa was devastated by one of these last year. With damage very similar to what you've seen with Ida in some places. So they cover a lot of ground. Just pay attention on days during the summer, especially when severe weather is expected in your part of the country. If the ingredients are just right, you may get to experience a derecho. Not that you'd want to.
Indeed, being ready to handle Mother Nature's forces can make all the difference. Reporting for Weather or Not, I'm Michael Jablonski.
Hello everyone, my name is Brian Michigan here for your extended forecast. We'll be recapping the beautiful week in store here for Pennsylvania. Starting it off for your weekend recap, 71 degrees is your high on Friday with abundant sunshine. Low temperature of 49 degrees overnight. Saturday for game day looks to be a beautiful day for the Penn State versus Ball State game. 76 degrees as our high with sunshine, followed by 56 degrees overnight for your low. Sunday here in Center County, Pennsylvania looks to be the best day of the weekend for sure. The sunshine returns and we have a high temperature of 81 degrees. Taking a look at the week ahead, Monday, Tuesday look to be great days to start the week with mostly sunny skies and temperatures well above average for this time of year. Average temperature around this time of year is 75 degrees, so we'll have temperatures in the lower 80s for Monday and Tuesday. On Wednesday is our next shot of rain. Temperatures still a little bit above average, but after that storm system moves through, Thursday, Friday looks to be cloudier skies with temperatures slightly below average in the lower 70s. Don't go anywhere. The quiz answer is coming up next.
I was shocked too, in fact, when I found this tidbit out. I contacted a friend from Texas because I assumed that it had a large population density. Well, he informed me that Dallas-Fort Worth is the only city with suburbs. Everything else is farmland, followed by then a larger city.
That sounds very interesting. With that being said, that just about wraps up this week's episode of Whether or Not. We want to thank all of you for joining us, and we look forward to next week's show. I'm Brian.
And I'm Stuart. Have a great weekend. And we are